This is still sales. You're just selling internally here because you've got the deal. You need support. They're not giving you support and they're out of office. It happens to all of us when we have these. It's funny how these internal people love their paychecks, but then they're out of office when the deal that's going to get everybody a paycheck is getting ready to come in.
Yeah,
so what
totally.
you...
We're just like, I feel like people forget that the outbound salespeople are the only ones that are responsible for bringing in money.
Yeah, money tends to be a good thing if we want to keep eating. So the way you have to do this is gently, and I think I see Nick. Nick has had to deal with this times 11,000 in previous iterations of Nick's world. But the way you have to do it, and Nick will testify to this, it's not the end-all, be-all panacea. It's never going to help. Some people are still not going to get your stuff. The way you have to do it is monetize it, right? So instead of just saying, hey, I need this spreadsheet for this deal, right? As we had mentioned before, this is a really important deal. This represents X amount of revenue for the organization. Now, the word I like to use, there's a lot of visibility or a lot of eyeballs on this deal. So we're going to just let them know there's a lot of visibility, there's a lot of eyeballs on this deal, right? I just want to give you a heads up. And then as it gets closer and they're not doing it, something that we've already talked about on this eastonuniversity.com coaching session is, as long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that, right? So this is where you need to maybe gently nudge them with the out of office, maybe give them a call, maybe leave this on their voicemail. If you have their number, shoot them a text and be like, this is a very big deal. This is X amount of millions or thousands of dollars deal. I need to get this across. I realize that you also have other things. Here's where I'm at. If I'm unable to get this feeling comfortable where I'm going to have this to the client by Friday, and in order for me to feel comfortable, I have to either have the document or have significant progress and a date where I'm going to get that, a time today or tomorrow when I'm going to have the document, I'm going to need to reach out other places in the organization. As long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that, right? Like, I understand that you have other things to do. And now you're going to find that that person's going to probably call you back really quick and be like, no, I'll get it to you. And they're going to move around other stuff and get your stuff done. Because here's what you're doing, and it's kind of passive aggressive, but it's okay because you're trying to make money and you're trying to keep the company afloat. You're basically saying, if you don't give me what you want, what I need, I'm going to rat you out in a nice way. The nice way of saying it is, I understand you're busy. I understand you have directives. I understand you have more than me that you have to report to. However, there's a ton of visibility on this deal. There's a ton of eyeballs on this deal, and there's a ton of revenue to the tune of $4.6 million. I have to have this spreadsheet by 2 p.m. today. It's 11:30 now. If you're unable to get it to me, please let me know within the next 15 minutes. If I don't hear back, I'm going to have to start reaching out to other people. I'm not trying to be difficult, but I have to have this by 2. As long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. I'm happy to start reaching out now if that works better for you, right? And then if they don't respond or they're like, yeah, reach out, then you need to reach out and say, listen, I went to Kim. They're awesome. They're terrific. They're unable to get me this, right? What's a good next step? And then she's, what's your good next step? Well, just wait and see if she gets back to you. I realize that, okay? But if she does not get back to me, we're going to be late with the client. As long as you're okay with that, boss, I'm okay with that. I'll do whatever I can to salvage the deal, but typically when we're late on stuff like these, there's not much left to salvage. Again, we're weaving in that, as long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that, is a very powerful thing, because what I'm doing is I'm putting all of the responsibility where it should be, squarely on the shoulders of the person making the bad decision. That's what we have to do. Now, sidebar, okay? This is where you maybe need to reach out to senior leadership outside of this deal and say, hey, I realize maybe I need to get a personal life. I realize maybe I'm taking my job too seriously, but I'm getting deals in. They're not going through. I'm having things get hung up. And what this is doing is this is taking me off my ability to work other deals. Can you help me? Use the word to have people come to your rescue. You guys remember what the word is from Easton University. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to say, I think I'm taking my job a little bit too seriously, but I don't know any other way to do it. Can you help make sure that when I bring these deals in, that I reach out for spreadsheets, for help with RFPs, with help with RFQs, that I'm getting that help? Because what's happening is I'm getting momentum. I'm having a large number of deals that it looks bad on behalf of the organization. I'm not even going to say me. I don't care about my own feelings. It looks bad on behalf of the organization. We end up losing those deals. And then on top of that, to make matters worse, because of the fact that I'm trying to babysit these documents and people are missing their deadlines, I'm not nurturing my other accounts that have yet to ask me for those sheets, right? What's a good next step? And then leadership's going to be, I'll make a call. You're going to be working directly with Mike Dickens from now on. If you have any issues with Mike, please call me. Mike's going to take care of you personally. Because you're going at it as not a whiny, cryy, this happened. You're going at it as, hey, I'm trying to help the business. I'm embarrassed to say this is what I'm doing, and this is where the roadblock is. And I believe if I had to take a guess, here's the amount of dollars, just give them a number, that we're missing the ball on. And I'm not trying to paint anybody in a bad light, but there's clearly a bottleneck here in our process. What's a good next step? Go that way.